things working when you're really stressed. Nothing works when you're stressed. Looking for...
Hello, are there any translators here? Could the translators go upstairs? We want to test the system for translation.
So, dear friends, we are trying to fix the translation. So, translators are requested to go upstairs to the booth to test the translation now. Please go upstairs, yes. We are trying to fix the translation. Therefore, all the translators are asked to go upstairs to the booths, and we will try it out now. We hope the technical issues will be solved as soon as possible. And meantime, I would like to ask all of you, and this is a request for everyone now, please consider, because we will need your help. We will need your help in serving food, because it looks like there is going to be 500 people here, and to make the lunch line smoother, we'll have to ask you for support, and we are looking for 20 volunteers per day who would like to serve food with us. Of course, you don't have to come every day. It will be session by session. So are there volunteers who would like to help to serve the food? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, and 16. 2 more. 17, 18. Okay, so those of you who raised your hands, there are 2 food lines. It's also an announcement for the hungry people. Please remember that 1 line and 1 serving food will be in the dining hall. Another one is just outside on the left side of the Gompa. So please go outside here. And in the left side, at the back side of the kitchen, we will be serving food. So please, 10 minutes before lunch, all the volunteers, we kindly ask you to reach the station and follow the guidelines of Andrea and Zangpo. Andrea, are you here? Andrea is not here, but if you will reach the dining hall 10 minutes before lunch, you will meet her there. Thank you so much for your support. And one more time, because I see not all of the translators are upstairs, please go upstairs to test the translation if the radio is working and if you're receiving the voice from the Gompa. So we are trying to fix this technical issue and to make it work as soon as possible. And probably Rinpoche is on the way. He should be here soon. And meantime, we need to test the voice. I would like to share with you one more thing regarding the food. So from our side, it is highly advised not to eat outside. Or if you're eating outside, please be conscious of the food you're having. And we advise you not to have any fresh fruits or salad if you did not peel them yourself and if you not wash them yourself, because it is very likely you will have stomach problems. So therefore, if you would like to avoid this hazard, please try to stick to our food in Kibi. It's much more safer. So one more time, regarding the lunch and the serving food, there are two lines. One will be here in a dining hall and another one will be outside of the Gompa. Moreover, if you will need any medical assistance, we have doctor, and there is a doctor room just around outside on the left side. There is a medical room. Probably there will be an hours where the doctor will be able to help you, announced tomorrow. So, of course, if you will need any assistance or if you will need any consultation, it will be possible here in Kibi. Dear translators, do you hear me? It works? Yes, great, all of you, perfect. So it looks like we will, no? Okay. So for some of the translation, Daniel, can you hear? The Russian translator doesn't work, but the translators upstairs, French is working, Polish is working also, it looks like. To jeszcze tak po polsku mały komentarz, że staramy się naprawić ten problem techniczny i mamy nadzieję, że już na tej sesji tłumaczenie będzie działać. Wygląda na to, że działa, także spróbujcie proszę albo przez radio, albo przez Wi-Fi. Mam nadzieję, że będzie działało. Działa? Jeszcze nie. Artur, powiesz coś? Patrzę na Polaków, nie wiem, czy słyszą. Nie słyszą jeszcze Polacy. Artur mówi. So Daniel, Artur is talking in the booth, but the Polish people are saying they cannot hear them. They cannot hear him. So Artur can hear the voice, but the Polish people, they cannot hear what he's saying. And the translation is on. To jeszcze raz, Artur, opowiadaj coś pięknego, proszę. Mówi do was przez cały czas jakieś piękne rzeczy, bo się uśmiecha. Pytanie, czy coś słyszycie? Nic nie słyszycie. Daniel, people cannot hear the translator, but translator can hear English. They listen, they hear English. Yeah? So, I just did it. Talk to them.
Yeah.
And I made it, and then do it now. But can I?
Tell them, yeah, 92.5.
Итак, русский перевод не работает на вот всем, что здесь вот. Волна 95 FM, и Юля будет переводить туда. И либо же по QR-коду через смартфон это будет, сказали, работать, не знаю. Но не могут они все сюда сесть, это чересчур. Ну, в Гомпе. 95 FM внутри Гомпы работает. 92,5. По QR-коду пробуйте. Сказали, будет работать, не знаю. Русский перевод по радио на волне 92,5 FM, либо же по QR-коду пробуйте, может быть, тоже будет работать, сказали.
French translation, no. Powiedział, że zmienili częstotliwość, więc żebyś powiedziała tym ludziom, że trzeba zmienić częstotliwość i dlatego go nie słyszymy.
Słuchajcie, jeszcze próba techniczna dla Polaków. Zobaczcie, jaka jest zmiana częstotliwości, bo podobno polski się zmienił i częstotliwość języka polskiego została zmieniona, więc zobaczcie proszę. Pewnie jest to napisane już na kartce, albo poszukajcie, bo Artur ciągle siedzi i mówi czułe opowieści wielkie. Przekazuje wam przez słuchawkę, więc sprawdźcie proszę, gdzie... Czy w ogóle możecie złapać jego opowieści? Na jakiej częstotliwości? Mam nadzieję, że zaraz to będzie działać. So Fabienne, are you speaking now in French? No, it's not working. You cannot. Oh, you're talking. Okay, good. Okay, so the people cannot hear you. Technical team, French people and Polish people, they cannot hear their translators, even though they are working on it. And the translators are talking to them. Czy udało się złapać Artura? Czy ktoś słyszał Artura, czy nie? Nie, nikt nie słyszy Artura jeszcze. Ojej, biedny Artur. A on już teraz wam śpiewa do ucha. Arię widzę, jakąś piękną. Dear friends, Rinpoche is just entering the Gompa.
Zanyen zhondan zanyen zhonan lan zhan zho bandan danen yazan dagen jizan jive zanan yen dolan benje zanyen droba zho zanyen zhonan 昨夜正梦论讲究不论大能有尊严大根之尊地月所能着来并且三经之白书三经之难所结之难论讲究不论大能有尊 Nagin Jizan Jive Zaman Jolan Bin Jizan Yin Zhubai Zhuai Zim Jin Tam Jin Dewan Dewen Jidan Dimban Jijin Dongan Dan Dongan Jin Jidan Zhawan Jijin Dongan Neben Dewan Damban Dan Mindawan Jijin Niren Shadan Nindan Zhiv Danyan Jimbolan Neban Yuan Jin Sim Jin Dam Jin Dewan Dewen Jindan Dimbalan Jijin Dongan Dan Dongan Yin Jindan Rawan Jijin Dongaran Neben Dewan Damban Dan Nindawan Jijin Niren Shadan Nindan Jimbolan Neban Yuan Jin Sim Jin Tam Jin Dewan Dewen Jidan Dimban Jijin Dongan Dan Dongan Yin Jindan Rawan Jijin Dongan Neben Dewan Damban Mindawan Jijin Niren Shadan Nindan Jin Danyan Jimbolan Neban Yuan Jin Shanzara Wandan Jiji Shaban Jize Yiran Geye Zuwa Yin Gewa Jingzin Dagi Jiza Tam Jin Zobin Zhangjun Jingwa 萨西北西中西南东大地的连续年的年巴，三界新的你的不外，这个南南引来正巴说，人间南界三班的落叶接得来接得来。 其中东门的白云绝景高楼高楼多南大族人在这发现的在旁边的两个的，虽然你的那我就跟咱俩都讲这个都乱讲这。 都感觉是从原发现的上坡去呗，就是应该他们应该会要不然就像要，那也是应该正面了，就是这个啥呗，民主党别是人民他们就老热情嘛，以前关心这个电视呗，用在那么的这边也了的。First of all, many greetings, all of you, and Tashi Delik, and yes, it is near to kind of Lhasa, so once again, happy Lhasa, wishing this lunar year, especially this next year. I wish you all long and healthy, and most importantly, meaningful every action you take, and may everything be successful. I think finish. And so during this course, I will mainly speak in English. So far, it was requested to speak mainly in English, so I have no other choice. And Cecilia, the translator, also will help me to on during my conversation. So today, especially during this course, they actually asked me whether I should continue the topic of Madhyamika, mainly about the self-emptiness, which is known to be Rangtong last year. But I thought it would be much more beneficial if I change the topic, because we have our great scholar Lamba Jambathaye talking about Shendong, the other emptiness, Shendongs. So in that, I choose this Buddha nature, and it seems well, we're having a not very long session of teachings. It's not also a very short, and so I thought it would be much more. Also, we always kind of engage with the Buddha nature, especially during the Buddha, when we generate the bodhicitta, during the rituals. So, so we engage with the Buddha Chitta, and during our practice in daily basis, during empowerments, and in many occasional way. So also, we talk a lot about bodhicitta. So it will be much clearer if we know more deeply, if we go and analyze what does it mean to reconnect the true meaning of Buddha nature. So, in my life, I'm almost getting to 30, not 31st, but it's not a very long year. It's not a short, but compared to I have lived, so I think this is like officially the 4th reincarnation. So for the past 3 life of Jamgon Kongtrul, and this life as, how to say, let's say 20. So till combination of all this lifespan, I think bodhicitta, Buddha nature, is very important to understand and very much beneficial in many lifetimes. Uh, for example, me putting an example, although uh, I was recognized as a highly realized master since the age of 1, and in the guidance of a teacher and master, I was trained to be a teacher, to become a scholar. Yet, I have a very unique kind of character where I have engaged with the rituals, with the prayer, mostly of my life. But my way of thinking is very much want to see the result, very much like a young age generation where don't want to follow blind faith. And during the empowerment, for example, visualizing the deity, the syllable, the mantra, the malas, the chorten, the house, the gomba, everything should have a meaning towards it. And the color, what we see, the music, the tune, whatever I observe, I usually believe that there should be a reason behind it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So I do make sure everything, not only spiritual, the perspective of the teaching itself, but the environment of like including from the very small details, the color, the robes, the diet of when we do the nyungne. So what kind of we do, I do believe that not only from the spiritual teaching point of view, but also from the item, the tradition to have a meaning. And from what I have observed or knowledged from this, and especially it seems the teaching do have a very big reason behind. For example, when I was small, I was living in a one like 2-3 monastery. Let's say I was living in like a tromba, jiura, chuyoja tromyura, a well where you put the bucket inside. There's a water tunnel, no tunnel, the well. Yeah, like we have saying in Tibetan, trombe bekba, trombe bekba. The frog who stays inside, so they only see the universe according to that empty kind of circle. So when I was in the monastery, mostly living, I should only see from the Vajrayana perspective. So when I was traveling, I saw numerous different culture, spiritual of teachings according to Theravada, Mahayana, and different robes, and so many teachings. So from that point of view, I'd like to learn more about their teachings, whether Like, is there something that we haven't discovered yet? So something like to be curious about another different Buddhism, a different, even though the the dresses of the monks, even though the form of Buddha statue and so forth. But what in the later of my studies, I do kind of gain kind of understanding, especially when I reach to the point of the secret practice, also the higher tantra practice, such as including the Uttara Tantra, Jilamara. So, like that. And also, when it comes to the higher Tantra of Mahamudra, so it expands my knowledge kind of vastly, vastly. From where the teaching of Buddha kind of expanded and made a more easier connecting and made me kind of more relaxed in a way where the previous teachings was quite complicated. But the more I engage to the later higher tantra, the previous makes sense, and the later teachings makes me more kind of understandable and easy to approach many different teachings. So those teaching includes one of the Buddha nature teaching. And I think a person, if they really kind of engage with the Buddha nature, I believe that it will help in the practice of selflessness, especially towards the Mahamudra. In this very modern time, we all very much well-known heard the topic of Mahamudra. But sometimes we do kind of, for me, I think, for me it looked like they misunderstood the concept of Mahamudra because of not very much have spent their time to understand the topic of Mahamudra. So it seems the Buddha nature is the base of the Mahamudra. So if we can able to kind of explore the topic of Buddha nature, then I would say when we actually engage with the Mahamudra practice, it will kind of support with a strong foundation. So, according to the historical Buddhist teaching, especially in our Tibetan Buddhism, we believe Buddha have turned the Dharma wheel 3 times. So the last would be known as Lekpa number H.E.Jamgon.
The sound is really bad.
Lekpa number H.E.Jamgon.
In Lekpar number?
Number H.E.Jamgon.
Number 2. The Dharma wheel that distinguishes well all phenomena.
So based on that, the concept of Buddha nature was very well known. There is a part where, let's say, a quote used in our Buddhist teaching where Buddha did mention a word where all this existence comes from our mind, which means every existence is the creation of our own mind. So, from that, it shows that everything is part of our nature, mind's nature. And there is a quote where Buddha has mentioned that all the sentient being has the seed and the nature of enlightenment. So this quote is a very heavy kind of message. And this message, it seems a small, just a random kind of a conversation, but the impact of this message has hugely kind of effects when he says all sentient beings has nature. And that, so the later students of Buddhists, they have elaborated this message where, yes, we all do have Buddha nature. And what does it mean to have the Buddha nature? So it's that we all can be enlightened. And not only that, we can able to achieve what Buddha had. And it is not possible, it is not very hard. Just focus within yourself, mainly towards the mind, and try to analyze what's the difference between you and the Buddha. And from that analyzing, and when we try to distinguish the qualities, and from that point of view, I would say we can able to see the only difference between the Buddha, whether historical Buddha or the past Buddha Dipamkara, whatever kind of enlightened beings there are, there is no much difference. In Buddhism, Buddha is a very important thing, not the person, the concept. And the idea of enlightenment is very important. I'm not sure whether the translation really fits, but when we say Sangye, it means Sang means awaken, Ge means fully developed. A being that awakened from dualistic illusion and fully develop what is happening in our surrounding mind. So that is something that is more important. Why? It shows the balance to a lifestyle, what kind of we take. It shows that it can bring that we can not only understand the concept of our mind, but fully develop that we can balance our desire, our suffering, our whatever. enlightened being, normally we say they don't suffer, they don't have suffering. But what does it mean? They don't suffer at all? Is there any possibility? That is not the thing. When people think about enlightenment, they think he's like in the Pure Land, and in the Pure Land there's no concept of getting suffer. In one point of view, that might be true, but actually, if there is a mind, everything is possible. So suffering can be possible anytime. But being enlightened means you're being aware of the surroundings and are living a life accordingly. So if you know there's a pain, you won't engage, right? If there is a lamp with the fire, if you touch, you will feel the pain of getting burned your finger. And after that, you will know that that is not safe to do. But that doesn't mean that there's no possibility, right? If you like to do, you can do. You can burn whole your body. But that's not the thing, right? So it's more like being aware and being fully developed and balancing awareness in your life. Through this, not only you are being aware, but you're sharing those knowledge and the wisdom towards others. And one thing is that there is no fear of anything because you already balance yourself. So in that way, I do believe enlightenment is the greatest thing can able to achieve, can beneficial in any way. So, yes. And also, yes. So this kind of mentality, this kind of nourished mind is something that consider the greatest to be achieved. So, okay, there is a person or there is a being like things, like this kind of mentality. So, what's the difference between us and them? Or how can we able to achieve that kind of mentality? Or that kind of wisdom, whatever. It is something that first, just to compare that, we can compare a lot from a Buddhist from a Buddha's figure, speech, or through his mentality, how much we can compare. But in Buddhism, the physical form, especially the historical Buddha, have come and appear in this world in the flesh of human. So he would speak human language. Individual, there's Russian language, Tibetan language, French, Polish, so many languages. But anyway, with the circumstances, he chose Sanskrit or Pali. Unfortunately, we couldn't able to understand that. So for that, we learned Tibetan to understand that Pali. So anyway, so we can. He have taken the human form. And as it is nature to have, as a human, the life of a human definition is birth, in age, sick, and death. So, those are considered change. So, Buddha's figure can change, as it is not based on the wisdom. It is something that came from it's not based on the mentality, the figure. It is mainly coming from cause and condition. So this is something that based on impermanency, so it will change. So mentality, comparing ourselves with the physical form of enlightened one, that's not the actual way to compare, to see the changes. So the greatest way would be seeing the comparison towards mentality. Yeah. So let's try to look within ourselves. Buddha has a mind for sure. We have also a mind, and my pet also have a mind. So compared to the pet, he thinks about his food. I think about life. Buddha thinks about compassion and all those goodness. So basically, we do believe there is a mind within these three beings. And so, first thing, we do accept the three minds. So first thing, the Buddha nature, when we talk about to certain beings, it's very hard to accept that we can able to achieve like the enlightened state. That's the first thing. So the first is we need to have acceptance that Buddha has a mind and we has the mind, and the mind, the base are same. So when we talk about mind, so what does it mean, right? In Buddhism, we have body, speech, and mind. And this would be something that for those who haven't known, like, for example, those who haven't engaged with the Buddhist studies or any kind of spiritual, not only Buddhism, but normally in the basis of their daily life, we like, I eat, I drink, I have, like say, I have energy, I have a busy day, I have a tired day, and we travel, and we have, like, I have a good day or a bad day, like we continue. And we don't that much focus on, okay, I have a separate body, I have separate speech, I have separate mind. We don't think about this stuff much. We just like go with the flow of our way. So when a teacher comes, okay, there is a body, speech, and mind. And when you do negative action, you have a body negative way of accumulating sin. And there's a way you are accumulating virtues. Also in a different form, body, speech, and mind. Then we started to think, okay, there is a body that functions differently. And there's a speech that functions towards virtuous and non-virtuous differently. And there's the mind that that kind of gives us something that explores, that something that we haven't thought about before. Just like that. It kind of divides our, it kind of shows or divides or introduces things how they are, how they is. But normally we don't know, because let's say, if we look at the person, you will just see a person with a face, or beard, or nose, or with the hair. We don't count how many hair is on his head. If you count, there will be like numerous. I think there will be a number, but it is numerous. But we don't know how much exactly, because we don't care. We don't care about, we don't have interest to count each and every people's hair, so that's why we don't have to know. And when people say something, there's like this number of hair maximum and minimum that much, some people doesn't have. And that kind of, how to say, lets you aware, okay, this is some kind of percentage of people can have the capacity to have, and some less capacity. And does it really makes you really beneficial by knowing someone's hair? I don't think so. But it makes us aware. So awareness is something a little bit different than adapting by the mind. You're just aware. And for example, the memory and also the memory of the mind, the memory which you remember are something which you have interest, so that you have adapted in your mind. If you have no interest, you don't adapt, so you don't have a memory. So similar, for example, like that. So body, speech, and mind. So those are something that we don't actually think too much, concentrate, because we are distracted in daily basis, so we couldn't able to have that interest to expand this. So that body, speech, and mind. So when we know, okay, there is a body functioning, and speech functioning, and mind functioning. So when it comes to the mind, so we try to kind of as mentioned, by distraction of outwardly stuff, which keep on distracting us, that we couldn't able to have the capacity to think about our own mind. In some cases, people live a very miserable life, because there is a lot of stress happening in their mentality. They are fully concentrating to one subject that somehow transforms yourself to the concept where the life becomes a misery. And the most important part that we in life, it's important to see where you put much of your intention. If you put because in Buddhism we used to say, mind doesn't have existence. Mind doesn't have limits. So that's why it is limitless, it is formless, it has no boundaries. So that the concept of stress or joy can take advantage of whole your mind capacity, where you transform. So in that way, when we talk about enlightenment, so the enlightened being, or like those kind of mentality, mainly focus and balance towards the subject, so that when they focus, then focus on the positivity. So the mind transforms into that. In a way, it becomes pure. So those are very important, I think, to know. And so anyway, so basically today I will be teaching about Buddha nature, finally. So I will be based on the Rangjung Dorje's, the third Karmapa, Rangjung Dorje's teaching. mainly Rangjung Dorje, the third Karmapa. Historically, is known as the first incarnated Lama of Tibet because the first Karmapa is the person who need to be reincarnated. So the first doesn't count. So the second, during the second, so the officially second Gyan Karmapa, the Karmapakshi, haven't. There's a verses that he mentioned that he is the emanation of the first Karmapa, the Sumkhyempa, but mainly the title of Karmapa comes during the second Karmapa, Karmapakshi. So historically, and so as well during the second Karmapakshi, I would say the Karma Kaju is not very much used during the first Karmapa, mainly known as Kamsang Kaju. And during the second Karmapa, during his lifetime, he is known as Karma. And the Pakshi is something that Mongolian word, so that the Karma Pakshi was known mainly towards this during the second lifetime. So the actual reincarnation happened during the third Karmapa. So he is, one could say, the officially first reincarnated Tibet master. And he have accomplished a lot. And he's not only just a random being, but enlightened being who has many. He's also known as having the quality of the Buddha, the historical Buddha. So the life of the Rangjung Dorje is a history, and the work he has done is also a history. And not only a history, it's something that is like accessible, the teachings which have the Rangjung Dorje have published. And within the incarnation of Karmapas, Rangjung Dorje mainly focus on the Tantra. Although he has worked in many teachings of Buddhists in general. In Buddhists there are so many topics, so many different types of teaching, but he mainly worked on the Tantric. And so he has many accomplishments, volumes of teachings, but most of the well-known, there's three texts which he have, which is very important in general Karma Kaju till this day. So the first is known to be, I'm not very sure with the English term, Samunangde.
Profound inner principles.
The profound inner principle. So this teaching is very important for a practitioner of Karma Kaju, where mainly the practice of Karma Kaju is known to be Thalam Narochuruk, Tolam Chaja Chemo, as the method of sixth practice of Naropa and the liberation as a wisdom of Mahamudra. So these two are very important for individual practitioner. In general for all, but those who want to know more about the teaching, these are the two kind of right hand and the left hand. Without the right you can't have left. Without the left you can't have right. So like this, you have to balance with these two kind of teaching. And the tantric is mainly considered as the six practice of Naropa, which is known as the practice of the physical form. And the Mahamudra is more like the mental practice. And in this text, he talk about
the true mode of being of entities, of the entity body, and the true mode of being of the entity mind.
This too. By knowing your own physical body, from starting how it created and how it will last when the ends come of the physical form, by being aware of your function body, and not only being aware, but also engaging with the practice of six Dharma of Naropa, that actually helps one's body to have a fresh mind. Mainly focus on the physical form. And we have the mental. So the main functioning is the mental. No matter how much you concentrate six practice from Naropa, but if you don't have the purest view and the concept of Mahamudra, or the mind nature, then how much you practice, it doesn't make much effect. So the first mentality of things how it is, to be aware is very important. So in that way, in this text, he talks about Semngubiniluk.
The true mode of being of the mind?
Of the mind. So, to make this clear, he made a second and third commentary known as Namshi Yishi and Nyingpo Tempa.
The Namshi Yishi will be the treatise distinguishing between consciousness and wisdom, and the Nyingpo Tempa is the teaching about the essence.
The essence. So these two mainly focus of the mentality. And the rest of the teaching mainly focus on the body. So we have the body and the mind, both. So more than the body, first we focus on the mentality. And so mentality, so they talk. So it is mentioned more about the mind. So I think we should stop here and stop here. And we can continue day after tomorrow. And those who have furthermore questions or anything, you can write it down on the ledger, and someone, there will be a collector. And in the last day, on the second last day, I guess, I'm not sure, that day would be Q&A whole session. So you can, whatever there's a question, you can write it down and they can collect. So while during the process there won't be Q&A because it takes a lot of time. And sometimes the Q&A takes a lot of time which I need to speak won't have enough time. So yes, and
Dhamma nyambe, dhamma
Geba na chen bala drupa ye, sipe zol, drowa drowa.